Hey, in today's video I would like to talk about the differences between Audi and BMW. Now, as you may probably know, both brands are German car manufacturers. Both brands offer sports and luxury vehicles, but it really depends on what you prefer. In terms of design and features, Audi and BMW are pretty similar. Now, if we go in depth in both brands, we will see some pros and cons, and I would like to discuss all of them. Now let's start with Audi pros over BMW. First of all, Audi offers Quattro all-wheel drive, which is pretty similar to Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive. Now BMW also has an all-wheel drive system, which is the X-Drive, but it isn't as great as Quattro. Also, in the traction area, Audi offers front-wheel drive as standard, whereas BMW offers rear-wheel drive as standard. It's not a bad thing having rear-wheel drive, but in winter conditions, on snow, ice, sand, mud, it's really difficult to start from standstill, especially if you're standing on a steep hill. If you have a family or you live in a cold area, having rear-wheel drive isn't the best option. Now, you don't need all-wheel drive all around the world. In some areas, having just front-wheel drive is more than enough. And that's the reason why most vehicles come with front-wheel drive as standard. That's why Audi keeps making front-wheel drive, and if I'm not wrong, BMW announced that they will switch to front-wheel drive sooner or later, in a couple of years. Audi also offers naturally aspirated engines on their sports vehicles, such as the Audi R8, which is also the same engine that is used in the Lamborghini Huracan. Now, BMW also has its M division. You have over 300-400 horsepower on their sports models, but they have 3-liter twin turbocharged inline-6 engines and 4.4 V8 twin-charged gasoline engines in the M5 and M6. I'm not saying that they're not great, they're fast, they're responsive, etc. But having a naturally aspirated engine feels like a real supercar, like a Lamborghini feels. And I think that's a major plus for Audi. Now, if you go to the bad side of Audi, I really don't like that they have switched to downsizing their engines too much. Now, you're Audi, you're a luxury brand, and you're offering 1.0 and 1.2 turbocharged gasoline engines, even inline 3 engines, which in my opinion are terrible. Well, they are fuel efficient and they're meant to be cost efficient, but in my opinion they're terrible, they're terribly balanced, etc. I really don't like inline 3 engines. And still, Audi offers inline 3 engines, 1.0 TFSI on the A3 and on the A1. What I don't like at Audi at all is that some features and engines are also found in Volkswagen, Seat and Skoda. For example, the 2-liter turbocharged gasoline engine, which is being used on the Golf GTI, is also used on the A3, A4, even the Seat Leon FR, and on the Skoda Octavia VRS. So it's not that exclusive as BMW. If you have a BMW with a 3-liter inline-6, it's more exclusive compared to some Audi models. If you have a S3, yes, it's a little bit exclusive, but if you have a premium Audi, let's say an A3 with a 2-liter turbocharged gasoline engine, you'll find that engine in the VRS, GTI or Leon FR. So it's not that exclusive. Now, if we go to the BMW side, we have a few pros and cons as well. BMWs are more fun to drive. They're offering a sporty feel and they handle great. If you like sports driving, going sideways, having some fun during winter, even drifting, BMWs are excellent. Especially if you have an M model, they come with a limited slip differential as standard. You can have a ton of fun, especially if you go on a track. If you're interested in learning more about limited slip differentials, I have a separate video which you can check out right now. I like the fact that BMWs have an aggressive look. They have their distinctive look, like for over 30 years. It's impossible to not recognize a BMW design. They have been using the same layout and the same look, especially for the bonnet, if you take a closer look. And the overall design is just great. I think that Audi and BMW, in terms of design, they're equal. It all depends on your taste. They're both efficient, they both look good, they both offer luxurious features, they both offer fast cars. It's up to you. Do you want to go sideways and have fun on a track, or if you want to be a little bit safe but you want to have power, you can get an S3, S4, S6, etc. I have also driven an Audi, two Audis S8, one with a 5.2 V10 naturally aspirated engine and the one from 2013 with a 4-liter V8 twin turbo with 520 horsepower, and it's just amazing having all-wheel drive with that huge amount of power. Skyrockets, it's amazing. I'm pretty sure that BMW feels almost the same, even faster, and M model feels as fast as an Audi S8, but I love the fact that you have all-wheel drive. It's much safer, it gives you much more traction and totally drivable on most weather conditions. Imagine if you live in London or in the UK where it's rainy all the time. You can't put on the ground all the power all the time. You need to have dry asphalt and you need to go on a straight line or go sideways. You can have fun with a BMW, but you can't put down on the ground all the power. So that's a major plus for Audi Quattro. And Audi offers Quattro as standard on all S models, even on R8. What I also like at BMW is a con for Audi. They have 1 liter and 1.2 liter turbocharged gasoline engines with inline 3 engines. BMW doesn't have engines with displacements below 1.5, and that's a major plus. I think the only inline 3 used in BMW is the one used in the i8, which has the inline 3 1.5 and 2 electric motors, which has over 350 horsepower, I think. I'm not pretty sure, but I think it's the only engine. It's meant to be sporty and efficient at the same time. But other than that, BMW doesn't have inline 3 1.0 engines on their 3 Series or 1 Series or 2 Series. They just have their least powerful engine. I think it's a 1.5 turbocharged gasoline engine with 136 horsepower, which is more than enough for a beginner or for a lady, let's say. In terms of diesel engines, both brands haven't gone below the 1.6 mark. I haven't seen recently an engine from Audi below 1.6 displacement, a diesel engine. And even on the BMW part as well, I think the 114D has a 1.6 diesel engine with 95 horsepower. So for diesel engines, they're both pretty equal. I think Audi is even a little bit over BMW because they have power outputs of around 116 horsepower compared to 95 from the BMW. The tiny Audi A1 has a 1.6 diesel engine with 116 horsepower, whereas the 1 Series has the 114D has just 95 horsepower, so it's a little bit tricky. Now let's talk about a little bit about choosing a sports car. Now let's talk about what you should choose depending on your driving style. If you live in a cold area, you have a family, you want a bit of power but you want safety and traction, you should buy a BMW with xDrive or an Audi with Quattro. Quattro is over xDrive, but it's just fine. It's totally drivable in winter conditions. Now if you want a ton of power and you want to have the fastest possible accelerations on most weather conditions, you should buy an Audi S model. I would personally buy an Audi S3. That's my personal option. If I would ever have the money, if I would ever have 46,000 euros, I will definitely buy an Audi S3 with a manual transmission. That's my little dream car, let's say, the smaller one. Now, what I don't like at BMW. BMWs are more difficult to drive in winter and on heavy weather conditions. Now, even if you're the best driver in the world, if your car is surrounded by half a meter of snow and ice, you can't really start from standstill with a car which has rear-wheel drive. If you have at least X-drive, it's just fine. If you had front-wheel drive like Audi has on most of their cars, it would be a lot easier. So this is a big minus for BMW and for every car with rear-wheel drive during winter. At least if you had a limited slip differential on rear-wheel drive, it would help to get out of snow. Not just for drifts, it's also good for snow and for low traction situations. I don't like at BMW, and not just at BMW, even at Audi, all their engines are now turbocharged. I know this is for emissions reasons and for fuel efficiency reasons, but I would simply pay more to have a naturally aspirated engine. You couldn't find an engine right now which have at least one turbocharger. BMW have their twin scroll technology, which should have been mentioned here as a pro. So big plus, twin scroll technology. If you don't know what twin scroll is, instead of having two turbochargers, they have two areas. One is closed and one is open until at least one of them builds pressure fast. The other one is closed when the pressure reaches the optimum pressure and the optimum RPM. The other side opens. One side goes to, let's say, 2 cylinders and one side goes to the other 2 cylinders. And it's a great way to reduce turbo lag. If you have two turbochargers, a smaller one for the low revs and a bigger one for the high revs, it's just great. But having a twin scroll technology eliminates this problem of having two turbochargers. It's having more than one turbo is very costly, so having this option is much better. If you take a closer look at most BMWs, you will see twin power turbo, and even on the BMW oil bottle that I had in the previous video, it stated twin power turbo technology. But it's not just they have twin turbochargers, they have a turbocharger with twin scroll technology. So yeah, this is a great pro for BMW, which Audi, I don't think they have this technology, or even if they have it, they don't say anything about it. And what I really don't like at BMW is that they have really downsized their sports cars. And by sports cars, I mean the M models. They have gone from the 5-liter V10 naturally aspirated engine, which was a monster, the E60. They have gone to the 4.4 twin turbocharged engine in the current M5, which this engine is also being used in a 7 series and the 5 series with lower horses. They have also downsized the M3 engine, the naturally aspirated V8 with 420 horsepower. They have gone to the 3-liter inline 6 with 431 horsepower, and that engine, I'm not saying it's not great, but it doesn't feel and it doesn't sound as the V8 found on the M3. This engine, the 3-liter inline 6, is being used on diesel engines, gasoline engines. Naturally aspirated isn't used anymore, sorry. It was used for the last time on the F series, the 5 series F10 until 2013. You can still buy grade 1 pre-owned in excellent condition at around 20,000 euros in Europe, even a smaller price. This engine is being used in the M models, diesel engines, gasoline engines, 1 turbocharger, twin turbocharger, triple turbocharging, and even quad turbocharging found on the 7 series. 4 turbochargers. Having 4 turbochargers is enormous. It's too much. what I would choose if I had to choose from BMW and Audi. To be honest, I would buy one of each. I would buy a second-hand pre-owned BMW M3 E92 with a manual transmission, and I would buy a brand new Audi S3, as I mentioned earlier. It's all about tastes and it's all about what you prefer. I told you, you can find anything that you need in both brands. I currently own an Audi and I'm pretty happy with it, so I would probably stick to Audi, but I don't know. BMW has a few cars which are blinking to me, they're saying come and buy me, like the M3. It really depends on you. So let me know in the comment section below, what do you prefer, Audi or BMW, and why? Subscribe if you haven't already for more car videos, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.